Have you ever heard of Rhum Arrangé? This exquisite and inventive rum-based drink is perfect for spicy tropical dishes and tiki cocktails. This drink deserves much more attention, quite frankly, and so we're gonna go on a little journey to the enchanting island of La Réunion, where it's from, and guided by a local chef, we're gonna learn about the different tropical flavor profiles that we can make it with and make it at home. So this drink comes from La Réunion, a tiny little volcanic French island off of the coast of Madagascar, close to Mauritius in the Indian Ocean. And it's mind-boggling why no one has heard of this place, myself included, before I went. And if you ever get the chance to visit La Réunion, also known as l'île Intense, you're in for an adventure. Aside from volcanoes and majestic shorelines, you're also going to find a surprising mix of cultures that all contributed to the local cuisine. And in every kitchen, you're going to see an array of different colored jars on display that are all filled with different fruits, spices, and even flowers, and filled to the rim with a liquid. That is Rhum Arrangé. While it's present with most meals, you can also enjoy it on its own as an apéritif, digestif, on ice, neat, or in cocktails. And it's a really cool display of the many botanical treasures that this island has to offer. Lychee, pineapple, passion fruit, mangosteen, vanilla, ginger, and faham flower, which is a type of orchid. And they all seem more enticing than the last, and you want to try all of them, but it's a slippery slope, I warn you. And while in English, people may confound this with spiced rum, there are some notable differences with the Rhum Arrangé, both in how it's made, its ingredients, and why it's made. This delicious drink is deeply intertwined with the story of La Réunion, formerly known as l'Île Bourbon. In the 17th century, sugarcane was introduced here under the name of bourbon cane, or la canne bourbon. At that time, l'Île Bourbon was mainly cultivated for coffee, but very quickly sugarcane plantations multiplied until they covered the landscapes of the volcanic tropical island. And with the sugarcane comes sugar, but of course also rum. From 1704 onwards, the first stills allowed the production of an eau de vie called arak, which is the name of the rum that is still made in Indonesia, Batavia Arak. Coincidence? I think not. In the 17th century, seafaring workers and merchants along the spice route, hailing from Asia, Africa, and Madagascar, had a brilliant idea. They began infusing fresh fruits and spices into alcohol to preserve them during their long voyage. And over time, these sailors started to sample and savor the mysterious concoction that they had inadvertently created. Rhum Arrangé, or arranged rum. They transformed a simple preservation technique into a beloved beverage that's been passed down through generations. And herein lies the main difference between a Rhum Arrangé and a spiced rum from the English Caribbean. A spiced rum is typically an industrial rum made from molasses that initially added spices and other ingredients in order to mask the harsh taste of the low-quality alcohol. This is all too often nowadays, these bottles filled with that dark sticky stuff and labeled with all kinds of pirate iconography. Rhum Arrangé, on the other hand, uses French rhum agricole from the Caribbean or the Indian Ocean. This rum, as you can imagine, is more tricky to make as sugarcane deteriorates as soon as it's harvested, unlike molasses, which can be shipped anywhere. This is also why the English adopted it as its base ingredient for industrial rum production. However, there's a payoff. A good French rhum agricole, I'm sorry, but is superior, both in fragrance and flavor. It's got these herbaceous and floral notes that you'll also find, for example, in cachaça, the Brazilian variant, which uses the same process, fresh sugarcane juice. As a matter of fact, the most expensive bottle of rum in the world is rhum agricole. But that may very well be a bunch of schmeh, and I digress.
The schmeh. That's the schmeh right there. Everything's bullshit.
So in a nutshell, Rhum Arrangé was made using rhum agricole to preserve fresh tropical fruit, while spiced rum uses spices to mask the flavor of low-quality rum. And of course, nowadays, Rhum Arrangé also uses spices, especially fresh vanilla beans from La Réunion, but also chilies, cinnamon, or even anise seed. The main ingredients are tropical fruit. First thing is the funnest part, selecting your ingredients. You can easily get creative here. Make sure to carefully select only ripe fruit, quality spices, and sometimes the flowers. Here's some traditional flavor profiles to give you some ideas. Vanilla and coconut, pineapple, guava, and bird's eye chili. This one's really good. Pineapple, strawberry, guava, and green chili. This is a bottle that I had picked up in La Réunion and emptied, and now I'm making my own. Lime and ginger. Verbena leaves, tonka beans, and pomegranate. As you can see, the possibilities are endless, so feel free to experiment. And in any case, whatever flavors you choose, the process remains almost the same. Start with an empty container or bottle or glass jar. And since in 2 weeks we're gonna make an epic feast from La Réunion, we've got the help of Juliette, a talented local chef who's gonna show us how to macerate a traditional rhum arrangé. This is how it's made. 1 big piece of well-peeled ginger cut into chunks. 2 fresh vanilla beans from La Réunion, of course. Zest, 1 fresh organic lemon. Make sure to remove the zest, aka the bitter white part. Zest, 1 fresh organic mandarin. I wish you could smell this right now. It's incredible. Fill your jar almost to the rim with about 70 centiliters of quality French agricole rum. Usually white rum is used, especially when using citrus and fresh fruit. But feel free to experiment with darker rum, especially if you're using more spices or candied fruit or chocolate. Then add about 20 centiliters of quality sugarcane syrup. And the last step is the hardest part. It's setting this bottle aside on a shelf outside of direct sunlight and letting it macerate for at least 2 weeks to a month, even longer, even better. You want to let the flavors meld together and intensify. And I've already failed. It smells wonderful, especially for this video. I wanted to show you. Give it more time. Do as I say, not as I do. As you can see, you can easily enjoy the Rhum Arrangé on its own neat, on ice, or even in a tiki cocktail. But the best cocktail, if I may suggest, to make a Rhum Arrangé with would be the tea punch. So that's it, guys. I recommend that if you can't book a flight right now from Paris to Saint-Denis Airport, make yourself a Rhum Arrangé, and that is the next best thing. You'll thank me in 2 weeks, especially when we're going to be enjoying it with our epic Réunionnais feast that we're preparing together. Let me know how yours turned out. What flavor profiles did you end up choosing? And if you like this kind of content, we're talking regional food adventures, restaurant classics, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I'll see you on the next trip. Au revoir.